Shaving Cadre, Friday morning, last day of the week for some of us. Today we will be using Cheshire by Barrister and Mann. The Feather SS with the Feather Pro Guard. We'll see how this goes. This will be the longest I've ever used a razor blade. This is shave number 7 or 8. I'm pretty sure it's 8. I think I've used it for over a week. And my new Sterling synthetic brush. I don't know why I held off a long time on getting this, but I just love the shape and the color. I don't know, it just seems very classic to me. I'm not too into the acrylic looking crazy colored brushes, that kind of thing, but this one just, I like it, and it's super cheap. And I was surprised by the performance. You can go nice and light. You get the little baby soft spa tips. It sprays pretty easily. It could be a bit denser, but what's this thing like? $12, $13, something like that. So I have not used a lot of mass-produced brushes, but to me, certainly worth the money, especially I don't really own, I think I have one Sterling soap and a couple of samples, but I'm not a Sterling soap user. But if you are, and you have not thrown that into your cart when you've ordered some soaps, you need to do it next time. Alright, here we go. So I know sometimes comments can get repetitive from one video to another, but I think we also don't expect that everybody stumbles upon the site or starts following us is going to go back and watch everything. So it doesn't hurt to address things again. But a couple of things that Chris mentioned on his last video on dress. That's Gear Noir on the Shaving Cadre forums, and I mentioned last time too that if you watch these videos outside of the forums, most of the comments and discussions happen on those forums for the group videos. Anyway, first thing he had mentioned is that he's not one of those guys that gets rid of a blade after a certain number of shaves. And I am the opposite of him, where this is an exception for me, and I'm very curious, but I know the rationale of people that do that are like, why waste your money if the blade's not ready to go? And keep going. It can also be a challenge to see how long you can keep a blade going. I actually think this might be the last shave on this dude. I can feel it turning. My rationale starts with what was one of the benefits for me going to wet shaving, and that's just a better shave. When I did cartridges, I could only shave every other day. Now, every day, or less than a day. No more razor burn. And so the better feeling of a shave was one of the big reasons that I did this. So my thought is that when you get rid of a blade because you felt it start turning, Well, then that shave where you felt it start turning does not feel as good as the shaves right before that. So since these are so cheap compared to cartridges, I thought, well, I'll figure out early on when a blade starts to turn for me, and I'll make sure that I'm always changing them before that point, so I never have to feel that suboptimal shape. So for DEs, it's 3 shaves and it's gone. I was doing 6 for the Pro Guards. So like I said, I think this is 8. So it's interesting, you know, wanting just to see, you know, I think I just did that with after one blade after I used it the 7th time, and I could feel it change. I was like, okay, well, we'll set it at 6. Excuse me. But this thing, I thought, well, maybe, you know, that was just a one time. Let's see if my last shave with this blade was awesome. Maybe that's a little too soon. But I think it was right on the money. And it's interesting, and I mentioned before, because guys can get 20, 30 shaves out of a blade. And it's kind of talked about, you know, like it's a choice, like anybody could shave that long with a blade if they wanted to, or that kind of thing. I'm sold that it has this to do with your beard. I can guarantee you that if I took a DE blade, even 10 shaves, it would be ripping my face up. So anyway, the other thing, the actual question that Chris had posed, Mr. Chris Noir, was kind of, did you have any habits or idiosyncrasies to your shave that didn't have to do with the shave itself? Or Chris, I don't remember how you put it, but kind of something like that has nothing to do with the outcome of the shave. There isn't really a reason for doing it other than you do, and I've been thinking about that. And I'm not sure that there is. And I didn't know really what he would consider, you know, related to that. So when I'm not doing a video, I used to listen to music, put on some, you know, try to play up the spa time aspect of this, something kind of quiet. It's, again, I shave early in the morning, so there's still people asleep, so sometimes an afternoon shave I play a little bit louder music, but it was some quiet piano or jazz or something in the mornings. But I do also listen to audiobooks, and so I've gotten into that instead of using my phone to record a video, I'll be playing an audiobook and just kind of zone out listening to that while I'm shaving, just because it's the me time and I enjoy that. Oh, I should say, should have said this first off, so that the Cheshire is their tea scent. Let's see, do they have the notes on their tubs? No, but it's just, to me, straight up black tea. And if you've seen a few videos, you know I love tea scents. So not as deep as like a Russian tea or the CBL Russian tea with a few other notes to it. It's just straight up black tea, which is not a bad thing. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've talked to before that I don't load from the tubs if I can avoid it. So maybe that's a idiosyncrasy. I just started that when I started wet shaving. I don't know why. Actually, no, I did start that. I was trying to think. It's funny, when I first started wet shaving, one of the very first questions I ever posed on a forum was, do you save your lather? My very first soap was L&L After the Rain. Wait a minute. Going the wrong direction. Forgot I'm on my third pass. Awesome performer to start with. I used to get a bowl full of, you'd have enough lather left over to shape again, and it felt like a huge waste. I mean, that's not cheap soap. At that point, it seemed like I spent a lot of money on this one tub of soap. I got all this lather left over. I take it out and I put it back into the container to use again, and never. When I started getting into the YouTube videos and forums and stuff, never heard of anybody doing that. And now I see why people kind of chuckled at the question. Here, I'm not paying attention, and I think I'm gonna get a little alum sting because of it. But anyway, kind of amusing now that I worry about saving leftover lather because I didn't want to waste. But I guess maybe that's the idiosyncrasy, that I don't like getting lather all over the place. That's why I switched to the copper bowl that I use. I used to use a Captain's Choice bowl, and for the larger brushes, it would just go out over the side and get everywhere. I didn't like that, so now I've got this copper bowl that's deep enough to handle it. But it's kind of funny because obviously soap is clean. It's really not a big deal getting it anywhere, but just, I'll rinse my razor fairly often. Drives me nuts when it drops and gets on my chest, or, I didn't do it this time, but most of the times I'll wipe it off my ears. Even when it drops down and lands in the sink, I just prefer it not to. I think you saw one video when I combined the two Russian soaps. I took the leftover lather out and was playing with it. So that's the first and only time I've ever done that with soaps, was really squishing them around and stuff like that, just because I really tried to keep them contained. Alright, so briefly about the shave. Yesterday I got a sweet BBS with the same razor. That's why I was curious how long that blade might go. So it's interesting. If you've watched my 100th straight shave, you know that didn't go very smoothly. There's a lot of blade stalling and all that. That was with an actual straight razor. It was pretty much brand new from the manufacturer. And that happens every time. I'm doing fine with the SS and I switch to anything else, and it doesn't go well. So I don't know. So these shaves are just fine. So I still use the SS in my rotation. Sorry, just rinsing out the bowl. So I certainly want to keep my straight skills up, but where I'm going from there in terms of using straights, I don't know. Part of me thinks I might just have to stick with replaceable blade things, because even though I'm kind of still enjoying the challenge and being able to use a straight for a shave, the maintenance aspect of the straight. I don't think that sounds enjoyable to me. I'm not a big post-shave maintenance kind of guy. Again, not to make this the Chris Noir show, but I know that when he's done with these things, he blows in this little, there's a little channel in there. It's kind of the pivot point for letting the razor in and out. And he blows that out. I don't do that. Some guys take the razor out, or the blades out of any replaceable blade razor. There's lemon. Dry that, clean off there. I'm one of those guys that when I'm done shaving, I'll rinse off the razor, I'll dry it off. I've gotten into the habit, my brushes, again from Chris Noir, I don't know why this stuck, but I'll do this with it. Dry it off a little bit, never did that before. And for me it's mostly aesthetics, I guess. I like the look of it better once it's dried off and putting it back on the shelf. But I've never had an issue. I'll have, I think half of those razors probably have blades in them. They don't get rusty, they're not gunky. So each their own. So maybe that's an idiosyncrasy, is that I don't do all that stuff. So the thought of having to finish my shave, thinking about getting to work and then having to strop it, and then coming in for a shave and having to strop it, I don't know if I'm gonna be down for that. Anyway, if I think of anything else, I'll have to do it on another video. So I guess this is a video just to say I don't have much of an answer for that. I don't think I have idiosyncrasies related to that. I'm kind of thinking the stuff that we mentioned for other folks. Other folks shave quickly. Maybe I purposefully go slowly to enjoy it longer. I don't like the soap buildup, so I rinse off my razor more often. I don't load from the tub. That's all I can think of. Alright, we'll finish up with Nevia 2-in-1. That's interesting. Look at that. The longer it's getting used, I'm pretty sure this was half blue, half clear when I started using it. It's obviously, now it looks like 2/3 blue, 1/3 clear, but you do this and use it. So how it's using more of one than the other. There are chemistry teachers out there that will talk about suspended solutions and equal distribution of molecules. Alright, so that's it, folks. I'll get ready for work. This is a Friday for you. Right on, enjoy it, don't work too hard, and I'll see you later.